Hello investors, welcome to Business Learnings. In this video, we are going to talk about Paytm. It has recently filed its DRHP, and in the next few weeks, we can expect its IPO. The IPO size is quite big, 16,600 crores, and about 50% of that money is going to be used to expand the business, and the rest 50% it's offer for sale. The founders, the investors, early investors, they'll book profit and exit. So first, let's try to understand the industry in which Paytm operates in. Paytm has a very diversified presence across industries, but the major industry is the fintech space, online payments, online transactions, online, ticket booking, financial services, cloud services. These are the key regions wherein Paytm operates. Right. So if you look at this slide, everything, every screenshot, every data point in this slide is taken from the DRHP itself. I'll put down the link of the DRHP in the description. I would suggest you to go through it. Right. So you can look at the size of the opportunity and even the CAGR, the kind of growth that these kinds of industries are going to expect in the next 5 6 years. Right. So the growth rate is pretty good, 34 36% in the online gaming, e-tail about 30%, e-grocery 45%, online food delivery 36%. And Paytm, you know, Paytm, even though it's not directly involved in all of these businesses, as these businesses grow, Paytm's business will also grow because it's providing the payment infrastructure to these businesses, right? So that's how digital payments, credits. So Paytm also extends credits in the form of consumer credits, which are buy now pay later, Paytm postpaid, and MSME credits, which it acts as an agent between MSMEs and banks. So it's present in the lending industry also. uh, Household savings, it's present in the financial services industry. So the overall point is it's market leader in payments, and the industry itself is expected to grow exponentially in the coming few years because of the under penetration of online payments in India. Right? Still most of the transactions are done through cash. Now, the key to Paytm's success is its flywheel model. If you are aware of Amazon uses a similar kind of flywheel model, which self sustains the business, which self grows the business. So, how does this flywheel business work? At the core of it is the payment services business. Payment services, which means the core services of Paytm, like sending money or doing your recharges. Paytm doesn't earn much through it. In fact, it loses money, but it does earn some revenue through it. But the overall point is to get more and more consumers by giving them the payment services. And the more consumers it gets, the more merchants they start accepting Paytm. And the more merchants that start accepting Paytm's revenue keep on increasing. So that's how this flywheel works. And the more merchants keep on accepting Paytm solve for the pain points of those merchants. For bigger merchants, is that it has the cloud services, payment gateways, etc. For smaller merchants, it has, we'll talk about it in the financial services space. So merchants also keep on getting better and better. They keep on solving the pain points of the users. The more merchants accept Paytm, the more users start using Paytm. That they see that, hey, this shopkeeper accepts Paytm. I should rather have Paytm app installed in my phone. So that's the kind of mentality that goes in the minds of users. That's how this flywheel sustains. These two flywheels sustain. Another flywheel is about the financial services. For example, the more use cases I have in financial services space, for example, wealth management, stock trading, buying insurance products, Paytm postpaid, buy now pay later kind of services. And Paytm has a very good history of these users. They understand the users and they have a lot of data, right? And based on that data, they are able to predict what kind of products should they build, which will be best market fits. They are able to build and launch those products, and a lot of customers end up using those products, and that's how Paytm monetize these users. So these users are diverted from the Paytm, are acquired from the Paytm, the core offering of Paytm, which is payment services. Right. So this is how it works. Another very key aspect is MSME lending. So India has a very underpenetrated industry, especially in lending, in MSME lending, and the reason is uh, the number one problem in the credit industry is when there is a new player. I do not know how much should I trust, how much should I lend this person, how much should I lend this MSME, because I do not have any kind of history, transaction history. But Paytm has the detailed transaction history of that merchant, so it knows, it has the detailed transaction history because the merchant accepts payments through Paytm, and this helps Paytm to understand what kind of money should I be lending to this MSME, and on that lending, what kind of interest should I charge, what should be the total duration for which I should lend. So Paytm itself does not lend the money; it facilitates the lending through various banks to this MSME. It's kind of an agent between them. So it's and Paytm gets to keep the margins. So it solves for a lot of use cases, and the better the merchants become, the more and more merchants accept Paytm, the more and more users install Paytm, the more and more users install Paytm, more merchants use it. So that's how this entire network effect uh, helps, and it's kind of a self-sustaining model, self-growing model, self-growing flywheel that Paytm incorporates, and it has been quite successful in doing so. So this is the key, this is the core of its business. Now let's quickly look at the offerings for payment, Paytm payment instruments, Paytm wallet, food wallet. Again, Paytm wallet, the money that you have, you do not gain any interest, but Paytm puts that money into various kinds of funds, liquid funds, short duration funds, and it earns interest on that. So that's another source of revenue. Sources of revenues are immense for Paytm. It will probably be not, I will not be able to cover it in this 10-minute long video, but the sources are immense, right? So these are various offerings of Paytm for consumers, and these are various offerings for Paytm for merchants. And it has been quite innovative, innovation driven in terms of offering the right product, understanding the user pain point, understanding the merchant pain point, especially the merchant pain points, because that's where the real money is. Consumers are just used to acquire more and more merchants. So payment gateway, all-in-one QR, soundbox, all of these use cases were solved keeping in mind the pain points of the of the merchants, right? Now this is the overall a snapshot of what Paytm is doing. 28 billion means about 2800 crore rupees of revenue from operations. uh, Paytm is already number one in terms of processing the amount of volume of transactions, about 60% of the entire volume of transactions across payment gateways, across UPI transactions, across wallet transactions, everything. It's facilitated by payment, which means that it's a market leader by a big margin. 142 billion rupees of gross merchandise value. So everything is quite nice, quite good. The challenges, I'll quickly talk about it. Uh, so this screenshot is taken from the RHP itself. We expect to continue to incur net losses for the foreseeable future, and that's a problem. It's a net cash flow negative, a kind of a company. It will be so in the next 5 to 6 years. Most of the money that it's going to raise, it will again be spending in marketing and promotional expenses, and that's a problem because if you see the income statement of the Paytm for the last 3 years, it has been cutting a lot on the marketing and promotional expenses. You see, just 5,325 million rupees in the last 2 years. It was quite a lot. So probably they were cutting it short uh, just to show better numbers in the IPO, but you know it will not help in a very long term. What we understand from it is Paytm will keep on burning the money. It will keep on burning cash. It will keep on giving various marketing offers and promotions to keep on acquiring users. And let's say after a point in time in future, it gets to its threshold users, after which it can start, it becomes net cash flow positive, and maybe we can see some kind of profit numbers then. But in the next few years, if you are expecting any kind of profits or dividends from this kind of a stock, it will not give you so. So good for investment, the only listed player, but the valuations are going to be insane. So let's see what's the offer price, and what's the share price going to be. uh, Thanks a lot for watching. I hope I was able to explain some aspects of how Paytm operates. See you in the next video. Bye.